I know it might sound like I'm just justifying my purchases. Hi everyone, it's Charm again from Ready to Adult Philippines, a channel about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and adulting how-tos. So today, as you notice, we are not in our typical setup because usually I film in my desk right over there, and that's because today is not your typical video as well. We are going to do a lighter video today. You guys are probably tired of me talking about life insurance for 3 weeks straight. So this week, we will be doing an old YouTube trend that I also really like watching. And I know that some of you think that I'm the most frugal and the most responsible when it comes to money. But we're in our 20s. We're bound to make good and bad choices. So this week, I'll be sharing to you guys my best and worst purchases in my 20s. Okay, so I have 6 items each for the best and worst purchases. So I'm going to be going back and forth between the two. So yeah, let's start with the first one. Okay, so my first best purchase is actually my sleeping pillow right over there. If you guys can see, my dog is also there sleeping, but she's very small. So it's from a brand called Tempur. And my friend works there, that's why I know the brand. But basically, I have scoliosis and I always get back and neck pains before. I've had that pillow for a little over 2 years now, and it is by far the best pillow that I have slept on. I never get stiff necks anymore, so it's this firm pillow, and they have NASA technology or something. I'm not so sure. I'll insert like a poster or something. But that pillow was an investment because it was quite expensive. I think it was around 9,000 pesos. And I know it's crazy, but it was just not worth it waking up every morning with a sore neck. A good night's sleep is very important, especially before when I had a whole day of meetings and stuff like that, and I want to go home and sleep to a comfortable pillow at least. It's definitely on the higher end of pillows. Yeah, that's my first best purchase. So the counterpart for that when it comes to ergonomics for my worst purchase is actually my black chair. So this black swivel chair that I sit on every time I make videos, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Frugal me didn't expect that we would be working from home, and I didn't buy a really good office chair, so this is quite uncomfortable.
But basically, I bought a cheap chair because I'm always out on meetings in the office for a bit, but also in coffee shops and other offices. And I just never thought of investing in a good chair. Luckily, my parents also had an old office chair, like the managerial chair that's quite comfortable. It's old, but it really is way more comfortable than the sleek black design that I was after with the cheap chair that I bought. I use that black chair solely for filming because it's really not comfortable, because the big chair also hogs up the space when I film. So that's why you guys always see that. I mean, it gets used a lot because of the videos, but ergonomics wise, it's not comfortable, so I do not recommend the chair. Okay, so next is my number 2 best purchase, and it is my repossessed car. Okay, so if you guys haven't checked out my video where I talked about buying a repossessed car from a bank, you can check that out. I'll put it up in the cards. I know that cars in general are not really good purchases because they depreciate fast. But I bought this car for a really good price. I have a Toyota Vios, and it's been with me for almost 3 years now. I got it for almost 500,000 pesos, and I could probably sell it today for the same amount, if not just a little bit less. But yeah, this car has really made my life so easy, because before this car, I was driving a 26-year-old car that had a lot of problems, would break down once in a while. It was really taken care of, but in a year, I would probably spend like 20 to 40,000 on maintenance for an old car because it is old, right? And yeah, I always go around the city for work. So I would probably drive to 10 places in a day. So it's really sulit for me to buy my own car and to buy a really inexpensive practical car. So yeah, speaking of transportation and traveling around, my second worst purchase are red-eye flights. So basically flights that travel at dawn or arrive early morning. And the reason why I think it was a bad purchase or it's not the most ideal is because my thinking was, if I get there in the morning, I have the whole day to explore, right? But I always forget that I have luggages around and I'll be spending for breakfast, I'll be spending a lot for lunch because I'm not familiar with the place, and the hotel check-in is still at 2 p.m. Yeah, it's great if hotels allow you to leave your baggage, but you're also really tired and usually not well rested from an early flight, which you can't really enjoy the rest of the morning, and you end up maybe napping in the afternoon, so you end up wasting more time. So yeah, my recent travels, I would usually schedule it for us to arrive around noon or 1 or 2 p.m. just in time for hotel check-in. Okay, so number 3, and maybe this is cheating because I didn't really buy this one. I think this was free from somewhere. It is my tumbler. I've already shown this in my top 10 essentials video, but I don't really mind what tumbler it is. Currently, it's this teal colored tumbler. It's really pretty, but I don't mind what tumbler it is as long as I have a tumbler with me, because I have saved so much money that I would have otherwise spent on bottled water just because I have a tumbler. I can easily refill this with any mineral water stations in the office or in restaurants and stuff like that. So yeah, I always bring this around, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So speaking of offices or work, this next worst purchase or worst expense, I would say, is not hiring a proper bookkeeper. So before, I hired our past employee to do these errands for me when it comes to taxes and income tax and stuff like that. And the thing is, she failed to file my income tax for a year, although she lied that she did. And I gave her like 8,000 pesos, I think, and she gave me fake documents, like fake bank deposit slips and fake ITR forms. And I don't know, that was just, I didn't really bother to go after her for the money anymore, because maybe she really needed it. That's why she did that, because prior to that, she was a good employee, kind of. And yeah, I was really annoyed and hurt with that incident. But ever since then, I hired a proper bookkeeper that takes care of all of my taxes and the peace of mind that it gives you. And they're the one who proactively updates you quarterly if you have anything to file and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely worth it to get a proper bookkeeper, especially if you are not very familiar with it or if you're a growing business. Okay, so don't make the mistake that I did. Alright, so next is, let's do my number 4 of my best purchase, and they are white sneakers. Okay, so growing up, I didn't really have any nice sneakers. Like, I usually buy, like really inexpensive one, like 200, 300 pesos. My very first branded shoe or branded sneaker was when I was 23, 2016, and I bought the Nike. And I have bought myself new ones. I know they're dirty, I'm very sorry. These are the Adidas Hues. They're the Pharrell Williams, and I love white sneakers because they're very easy to wear, to style, especially when I travel. and I really appreciate buying from a good brand because all of my past sneakers before, the insole, I'm not sure if that's what you call it, but the insole would always get removed, especially when I take out my feet, and that's really annoying, and I have to like rugby them all the time. So yeah, that's my best purchase, white sneakers, like a staple white sneakers. And my worst purchase, and I'm really sad that this made it to the list. I really was looking forward to owning one of these. I was so excited and I had a color in mind, but I did not end up going with the color that I was looking for because instead I found these, and these were on sale. And these are the Game of Thrones Ultra Boost. Alright, so wow, these are quite clean, I think. Well, they've been used a couple of times, but not really like my white sneakers. Okay, so I got this a year ago in Korea. These are the House of Stark Ultra Boosts, and they are very hot because winter is coming, and they are made with these really thick materials. And it's my fault because I didn't really research it prior. I just knew that I wanted to buy Ultra Boosts and they were on sale and they were in a nice color, and I didn't know that they were gonna be like, I don't know, maybe for cold countries or something because there's like insulation inside. So yeah, I was initially planning to use this for running, but when I run, I use thick socks. So when you wear thick socks plus you have shoes that are very thick, your feet gets really sweaty and tight and hot, and it's just, I've been thinking about selling these. I don't know if they are still sellable, but for me to be able to say it's a good buy, then I have to get an ROI, and I haven't ROI'd these ones. But they're really pretty though. I just don't know how to style them as well. I don't think it's my style. I don't know what to wear with them. My Ultra Boosts are part of my worst purchases. Okay. Alright, so number 5, my best purchase is investing in good skincare. Okay, I will put up some photos over here of what my forehead used to look like. They are much decent now. Although I still get acne or pimples once in a while, it's really much better now. I'm more confident. And when you're more confident, everything is just easier in a way. They can be a little bit pricey, yes, but they really last a long time. So I use a brand called Kiehl's, and I don't necessarily recommend them for you particularly because it really depends on your skin, but I have spent so much money on cheap skincare products that I only use like 1/8 of, like maybe I would use them for a week or two and I find them not working or making my acne worse. So yeah, instead of buying all these different products that might not necessarily work, I went ahead and bought a set of Kiehl's products. And also psychologically for me, since I know that I spent a good amount of money on these products, I'm gonna use them to their last drop, and it's very effective. Like, I always use it until it ran out, and I will give it back to the store for recycling because they have promos for those. And yeah, if you guys have been experiencing some, skin issues and stuff like that, I'm not an expert. Just take good care of your skin and clean it in the morning and at night, and you will most likely see results. Okay, so for me, I had to invest in good skincare routine for me to be able to stick to that habit, and it's been working so far and I'm loving it. So yeah. Okay, so next is also something to do with my face, and a lot of you guys have been asking me about my eyeglasses. So this item, and I'm very sad also to include this, but I asked permission from the person who gave it to me. These were a gift from my boyfriend, and these are Ray-Ban eyeglasses. So again, I'm gonna put B-rolls, but basically they are meant for European noses. So I don't have the thinnest nose bridge. I don't think there's any nose bridge in this area at all. And I really am very picky when it comes to nose pads. And I thought that investing in expensive eyeglasses would, fix that. So apparently not. I find it really uncomfortable, the nose pads, and we can't adjust it because it might break the metal. I still use this once in a while, and they're bearable. I use them in some of my videos, but I really prefer this. And the funny thing is, this pair was free. 0 pesos because of this pair. This pair cost my boyfriend 6,000 pesos, and again, I'm very sorry. I really should have tried out more eyeglasses, maybe research some more. So yeah, this is going to my worst purchases list. I love you, babe. Alright, so last but not the least, my next best purchase, and there are 2 things. So first is my bag, and then second is my wallet. You guys already saw these in my past videos, in my what's in my wallet video and in my what's in my bag video. And they're not a pair. I bought my bag 2017 in Bangkok, and I bought this last year in Korea. Basically, they are from a brand called Tumi. So I mentioned before that the reason why I invested in a good wallet is because I've had so many wallets that break after a couple of months. And someone actually commented like, how do you break a wallet? I will show you. I have here one of my old wallets, and that's not open. That's the zipper being broken. Okay, so that's one of the major problems when it comes to some of these wallets. And then another thing is I barely use this because just a week or 2 in, the zipper broke. But most of the time, the coin purse area also really breaks a lot. Also, the place where you put your cards. I don't know if you guys can relate to your wallets breaking all the time. It's also maybe because I always buy cheap wallets. Well, actually, I bought like a wallet that was 1,000 plus, and it still broke after like 9 or 10 months. And this wallet, I've already mentioned before, was around 3 or 4,000 pesos. And this bag, similar reason to my wallet, why I bought this bag. I've had so many bags that crack in the handle. It tears here also. It's usually the handle area because I have a lot of stuff. Like I have a lot of heavy stuff. And the zipper also breaks sometimes. And the edges and the leather crack. That's from my old bags that cost around 1 to 2 pesos, and I would usually have to change them every 8 to 12 months. And yeah, I'm someone who doesn't like changing bags every day. It's just not really me. I like an everyday bag, and I've been using this bag for more than 2 years now, if you consider the lockdown. But I bought this at 50% off. Same with the wallet as well. So I did not buy these at full price, so you have to give me some credit for that. So this bag was around 16,000 pesos. Yeah, I just really wanted to invest in a good, solid bag that will last me for years, okay? So it also has like a laptop area here. It's padded, and I love this bag so much. Yeah. I know that might sound like I'm just justifying my purchases. And yeah, so those are my last best purchases. Okay, so the last but not the least worst purchase, and I have to give you guys a background story on this. I personally don't regret buying or spending money on this item. I think it's a good investment actually, but since I'm not planning to ever sell this, you might argue objectively that I spent too much money on it. So it is this watch. And the backstory of this is that I got this from my dad, and this was my mom's wedding gift to him almost 40 years ago. But basically, this was like a tenghon gift, if you know what tenghon is. Like, it's like the engagement party for Chinese, and they give each other jewelries and stuff like that. And when I got this, it wasn't in the best condition. It's a mechanical watch. I don't know if you guys can see that. I will be putting up a b-roll of this. So basically, when I got this, it was just the watch itself. It didn't have straps. So I bought straps for them, but I noticed it kept time really bad. So I had it serviced, and they told me that they need to overhaul everything, have pieces, shipped from Switzerland, because this brand is from Switzerland. It's an Omega Seamaster. It's a very old timepiece, and at this point, it's already considered vintage. And I started getting into watches because of my boyfriend. I don't really intend to collect, I think, but I just really enjoy watching videos about them, learning about them, and the world of horology. It's really amazing, the history of watches, you guys. And this cost me 40,000 pesos, around that price, to fix. But guys, the side by side, it's just really amazing. I'm really happy about them. The only regret I kind of have is I had it semi-polished, like really lightly polished. And I just watched a video just yesterday that you shouldn't polish an old watch because it kind of loses its value a little bit. But guys, if you're not familiar about watches, I can easily sell this for more than what I spent for. So it's not necessarily a bad investment, but I do not intend to sell it because of the sentimental values that it has, with my parents. And it's just really pretty. It's a really pretty accessory. So very quickly, my thoughts about, bags or jewelries, watches like that being investments. They can be good investments. I acknowledge that. But if you do not intend to sell them, or that's your very first investment, then I think it's a really bad idea, because it's really better to invest in paper assets and financial institutions first before you go about investing in these other things, right? They're really a luxury, I would say. I acknowledge that spending that much money was not necessary, but it really brought me joy. I love it. So yeah, it's kind of a conundrum that I have, that I included it in my worst purchase because, again, it's not the best investment out there for me, but at the same time, no regrets. So yeah, that's it for my 6 best and worst purchases. I hope that it gave you guys a little bit of insight about me and about my spending habits and stuff like that. But let me know if you guys like videos like these. Please hit like and maybe share this to your friends and family. If you are a fellow YouTuber, then I nominate you to make videos as well about your best and worst purchases. And don't forget to hit subscribe on my channel, ring the notification bell so that you guys will be notified every time I upload, and that's every Sunday at 6 p.m. So yeah, this isn't really a personal finance video, but I guess it's part of adulting, spending on dumb things and smart things. Again, this has been Charm from Ready to Adult Philippines, and I will see you on my next video.